Hello, all my friends out there in TV land. This is Senior Issues, etc. I'm your host, Vita Verdon. Quickly go get your coffee, your Diet Pepsi, your Mountain Dew, your Dr. Pepper, whatever. Bring it here. This show's for you. You know, I listen to your requests and I've got information. And you need to have a pencil and paper. Now, what we all have plugged into in our country is Social Security. And today I have a technical expert with me, and she's got information that I know is just for you. So I want you to sit back, relax for the next half hour, and listen to the information and take down the information that we have for you today, and give a warm welcome to Victoria Jackson Davis. It's so nice to have you here today, Victoria. And how this show goes, that the audience out there, we've become very friendly over this last 15 years. And what they like to know, they like to connect the dots about a person. So they like to know, okay, this is Social Security. Now there's this person. Could I know a little bit about them? So why don't you look right into that camera and tell our warm audience out there, because they love the show, so they love you too. Okay? A little bit about yourself.
All right. My name again is Victoria Jackson Davis. I started with the agency approximately 28 years ago. And how I got started with the agency, I was a stay-in schooler. From there, I ended up getting promoted in various jobs at the agency. I was a benefit authorizer, a post-entitlement expert, ended up being a claim authorizer, and then eventually I was transferred to the local office as a claim representative, and then got promoted as a technical expert. During that course of time, I did meet my husband at the Social Security Administration, and we have 2 beautiful children.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop you right here, because in this part, I'd like, first of all, I want you to look in that camera and give a big smackaroonie. We give big kisses on this show to your husband. And could I ask your children's name?
My children's names are Miles and Maxwell.
Okay, so you got to give 3 good kisses right in there.
Mwah for Mark, mwah for Max, mwah for Miles.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so let's start with Social Security. You know, we've all heard that, SS. You know, we all have that, or we get a check from them. Now, what is SS?
SS is Social Security Administration, that is made of different types of benefits that are payable to young and older adults. What we have under that umbrella is retirement benefits, disability benefits, Medicare benefits, and
additional income, supplementary income.
Right. We also do SSI, which is supplementary security income as well.
So what it is a benefit program. All right. So under the benefit program, there's a lot of different programs,
That
right?
is correct.
Like you were saying, there's disability, SSI, Social Security, and
Medicare.
And Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
So all of them come under Social Security. So let's start with Social Security. Now, what is the age now on retirement benefits?
For Social Security retirement benefits, we can start your benefits as early as age 62. We also have it where you can get it at your full retirement age, which is 66 if you were born before January 2nd of 1955. Or
now, just let me stop here, right here. Is 62, would that be full benefits?
62, that's a reduced benefit age.
Oh, okay.
So at 62, if you file for your benefits, you will be at a reduced amount.
Okay, so now if you get a reduced amount, when you turn
your full retirement age, which most of these people now is 66, you can get the maximum amount as without being reduced for your age.
Okay, 66. Now, let's just go through a couple hypothetical cases. So if you could start it or early, that means you also could delay it, right?
That is correct. If you choose not to get your benefits at your full retirement age and decide to wait up from 66 to age 70, the government will give you an 8% return for each year for waiting. And what we refer that as delayed retirement credits.
So did you hear that? If you choose to take like your benefits at 70, from what Victoria is saying, that every year you delay, that the government will give you 8%
Yes, ma'am.
benefits above your regular benefits for delaying your payment.
That is correct.
Now, we were talking a little bit before the show on some other hypothetical cases. Say it's two people, husband and wife. Now, the husband could take it on the wife's benefits?
There's two options. If a spouse,
Yes.
the husband, let's say he was making the maximum amount,
Okay.
and the wife was already on the record receiving her retirement benefits.
Okay.
The husband have a couple of choices. If he's at his full retirement age, because the only way you can do this, you have to be at your full retirement age.
Okay, so you can't start beforehand. You have to start at your full. All right,
You
I
can
got
start
it.
at your full retirement age. And what the options are, he can state that he wished to file for spousal benefits under his wife's record when he reached age 66. We can pay him a smaller amount and let his benefit grow 8% each year up until age 70 if he wished to take his retirement benefits at age 70.
Well, now, these are complicated. I know you're not going to be able to take it all down. So there is a website that people.
There's a website, and there's also a publication called What Every Woman Should Know, page 14, that kind of explain this information. Our website is www.socialsecurity.gov.
Okay, let's say the website loud and clear.
www.socialsecurity.gov.
Okay.
And they can go to that website.
Okay, and now, like, to receive the pamphlet, they can find that on the website, but not everybody can work a computer. But I know, like, one of the tips that I'm giving out is if you want to go to the website, you can go to any library, and any librarian will help you on the website. But you were also talking, there was a telephone number.
There's a telephone number that you can reach us at 1-800-772-1213.
Okay, now there is also these publications. You could get them. You can get the publication by going on the website or calling the telephone number. But there was also a audio version.
There's an audio version on some of the publications in different languages. So if a person that speaks Spanish or another language, they will be able to find that publication online and listen to an audio if it's available for audio.
Well, they could find that publication online, or if they call the telephone number. I want to talk a little bit about that. Now, if they call a number and they just leave a message, does it require them to leave their Social Security number?
If they choose not to leave their Social Security number, that's fine. They can leave their name, address, and telephone number and put in a request what they're asking for, and someone will get back in contact with them for verification.
Okay. Now, I want to get back to this publication, What Every Woman Should Know.
That is correct.
Now, exactly what is the meat of that?
The meat of that, we're finding a lot of women are not aware that they can file for benefits under their husband's record as a survivor or if they're divorced. So they just give them options of knowing that if you're in the workforce and you reach your age 66 and you have at least 10-year marriage, you can file for divorce spouse benefits and let your benefit grow to an 8% return for each year for waiting.
And so you mean if a woman, even though she's divorced, she still has, well, probably it's on a case by case.
That is correct.
It depends on the details because there's probably a criterion. But what every woman should know is if you're in the situation, you should get this material and find out what's available, because you may have some benefits available to you that you're not aware of.
That is
Is
correct.
that correct?
That is correct. We're still finding a lot of widows, a lot of divorced spouses are losing out on benefits because they are not aware, or maybe they got missed.
Well, I know there's a lot of different little pamphlet benefits that people could go, so that either the telephone number or the website. Did we give the telephone number?
Yes, and I can give it again. I have no
Yeah,
problems
give
with
it
that.
again, loud and clear.
And our telephone number is 1-800-772-1213.
All right, because there's a lot of the other programs that I'd like to go into, but right now I'm going to give Vita's Pearls of Wisdom. I give them as my homespun thing. There's a couple of things, all my friends, my beloved friends out there in TV land. First of all, I want to, from the fullness of my heart and the heart of the crew, thank you for faithfully watching the show, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have the size of the audience that we have today, so we're very grateful. Now, there's a couple tips that I got recently. It's springtime, so it's time for spring cleaning, and it's time to get refreshment. One of the products that I found out about from, actually it's the man that's on graphics here had told me about, is myself. My car is from 2000, and I've got all kinds of rust things on my car. If you go into an auto supply parts store, you can I don't know the name, but it doesn't matter, because there's different companies put it out, and it's a can, it's a spray can that you can spray it on your car, and what it'll do, it'll prevent rust, and it will it changes the compound of the rust. So you spray it, each can costs, I think, approximately about $10. You spray it on once, let it dry. You spray it on twice, let it dry. And you spray it on the third time and let it dry between the things. And then it'll turn to black, and then you could repaint it any color. But it changes the compound, and it prevents any rust from coming in the future. That's one good tip that I'm giving you. And another tip is that, you know, your car needs a spring cleaning too, and there's a lot of these. I go to a $3 wash. They're all over the place, and if you pay a couple extra dollars, the two guys go and clean out the whole inside. And you know, that's the best way to do it. When we're older, we can't get into all those things. And another thing is, go through your closet, and the rule of thumb is here: this: if you haven't worn it in a year, you get rid of it, and just don't throw it in the garbage. Clean it up, and not things that are all ripped to death, but if they're in good shape, give them to a good thrift shop. Now, I just found out about this yesterday. The Salvation Army thrift stores, all the benefits from the Salvation Army gift stores go to rehab programs for drug and alcohol rehabilitation, where, you know, those rehab centers like the movie stars go to, some of them are up to $500 or $1,000 a day. This is a free rehab center, and they don't get any government funding whatsoever, but all the proceeds from the thrift store goes and supports that, and these men go in, it's, I don't know, a certain period of time, you know, and they do a good work. This is a good work. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So go through your closet and strain off some of the stuff and bring it to a thrift store. And another thing that I do is a lot of my winter garments, what I can't put in the washing machine, that I have bought these products that you can do dry cleaning in the dryer, and they're little sheets that you put in, and you put your garment. And I've done a couple winter things that I can't just wash by themselves, and it's cheaper than sending it to the cleaners. So I tried to bring you like all these little shortcuts to save $1 or $2, because I know myself, I'm on a limited income, and I know you're on a limited income, but it's time to get it all together, because you know what we are is this generation that we have to show the vitality and show those that are coming up behind us how to do it. Okay, let's get back to Victoria and let's get into some of these other programs. All right, now another program I'd like to go into is, I don't have the understanding of it all, but you could clearly explain this to our audience, is the program that's called SSI. Now, is it SSI or SSA? What is it?
It's SSI.
It's SSI. Okay, so explain to us what that is.
SSI is the definition is supplementary security income.
Supplementary security income. Okay.
And that's primary through the state. Social Security take applications for disability and older adults over 65 if they qualify and if they have limited income and resources.
Okay, now this is what I like to clear up. Okay, so now it depends on, like, a person could have a low Social Security, but they could have high resources.
That is correct. Right.
So it has to be like a certain income bracket.
That is correct. The maximum amount that SSI pays right now is $733. So if your payment amount is maybe $1,200 or $1,300, you may not qualify. But let's say if your Social Security payment is below $700, then you could qualify and file for SSI. And if your resources is less than $2,000 for a single individual or $3,000 as a married couple, you could qualify for additional payment along with your Social Security.
So in other words, you would be getting a Social Security check, and then you would be getting a SSI check?
It's possible that
it's two separate checks?
That is two separate checks, two different types of incomes.
Okay, now this SSI isn't confined to seniors?
No, a person can, SSI, a child can, 1 month old could be eligible for SSI up until over 65.
So how, now again, it would be going into the telephone number. Give it one more time.
If you wish,
loud and clear in there.
If you wish to file or have questions about SSI, you can contact us at 1-800-772-1213. And we'll be able to talk to you over the telephone or send you information out about SSI in one of our brochures.
Well, you know, I think it's remarkable when you came in and you said that you were been with Social Security for 28 years old, and then I immediately thought, well, what did she start when she was 5? You know, and you said you were 45 because you don't look 45 years old. So your goal is to, if you go for full retirement, you would have 50 years of service.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yes, ma'am, and that's at 67 for my generation.
So you must have started at one program and worked your way up to get to be an expert with Social Security.
Yes.
All right, so now what are some of the other programs? We've gone through a little bit. Did we go through disability? Maybe we should talk about disability a little bit more.
Right now, disability is currently our largest workload. A lot of the baby boomers has fell ill, and now they're applying for disability. You can apply online for disability, or you can apply over the telephone or in office. We do stress that you file for a disability online. It's kind of more quicker, easy, and convenient for you, where you can take your time. But basically, if you file for disability, I'd just like everyone to know, when you do so, we will take all your information. We will need names, addresses, and telephone numbers of the doctors, hospitals, and clinics. We will get that information from you, your medication. The group called DDS, which is the Disability Determination Specialist down in Springfield, will determine whether or not if you're disabled and come back as an approval or denial.
All right. Now, one of the questions that I have is from the time that you file, because I know it takes quite some time, maybe a year or even more than a year. So, from the time that you get an approval, do you get your benefits from that or from the time that you applied?
When you apply, first we ask when did you become disabled, and depend on when you became disabled, we can only go back 1 year to be a retroactive payment.
So it would go back a year if it took longer than a year, but you would get a year of benefits.
It all depends on what date you told us you became disabled, and we also have to look at your earnings. If you were making over what we call SGA, which is substantial gainful activity, if you make over a certain amount the same month that you became disabled, then we may not be able to use it unless you have what's called unsuccessful work attempt, where you tried to work and had to stop working.
And you couldn't work.
Exactly. So sometimes we go by your last day of work if you continue to work even though you stated that you were disabled or your illness came at that point.
Now, another area I'd like to go into, because we talked about early applying for Social Security, and we talked about delay. Now, can a person work? They can earn as much as they want when they get it?
When you file for retirement and you're at your full retirement age at 66, you can make as much as you wish without your benefits being affected by it and still collect your Social Security payment.
You can make up to $1 million?
And we don't care, and you will still get your Social Security. However, if you 62 to 66, there is an allowable amount that you can work and earn, and for this year it's $15,720.
Okay, so that's 62 to 66.
Right. The year you attain 66, let's say you were born in March.
Okay.
The year you attain age 66, it goes up to $41,400.
Oh,
but
I
if you were
see.
born March and you attain 66, we will only look at the first 2 months, because as of March, you can make as much as you wish.
I see.
And so you will be subject to $41,400. And the reason why we do that, if you didn't want to wait to March, you can start it as early as January if you do not wish to start it at your full retirement age.
I see. Okay, now an area that we really haven't got into that I'd like to go into is this program called Extra Help. Okay, so Extra Help is a Social Security program that provides, is it for prescriptions?
What it is for prescription drugs, you have to be entitled to either Medicare Part A or Part B. Just go over it with you real quick. Part A is hospitalization, that is free. Your Part B is your medical to go see the doctors. The Part C is the supplemental insurance, because Medicare only covers 80%, you're responsible for the 20. So sometimes people get a supplementary insurance to pick up the tab for the 20%. And then we have what is called Medicare Part D, which is the prescription drugs.
Okay.
Now, with the prescription drugs, with most senior, it's very costly, depending on what type of prescriptions you're taking.
Right.
And what we do at Social Security, or even online services, you can apply for prescription drug Extra Help. And what happened, we will take basic information from you to see if you qualify for the state of Illinois to help pick up the tab for your prescription drugs. And if you qualify, the state of Illinois could help pay 100, 75, 50, or 25% help of your prescription drugs.
Well, like, even if you have a supplementary policy?
It's still possible, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in other words, I want to see if I have this clear. Like, if say some drug costs an excessive amount of money, and your supplement in Medicare pays for 80 and your supplement only paid for that, and there's still a outstanding amount of money, then this program would cover that outstanding amount of money?
Well, it will help pay for the cost, yes, ma'am. You could qualify. You have to have a limited income.
A limited income.
For the state of Illinois to help pick up the tab, but you may not come out of pocket at all for the prescription drugs if they pick it up 100%.
Okay, so in other words, it depends on your income.
And your resources.
And it depends on, they must have a bracket of how much they pay out.
That is
and
correct.
so some some would get it altogether free if they qualified,
That is correct.
and some would probably be a minimal cost.
Exactly. The
the-
government could pick up 50%, the state, and
So
maybe
it's
you pay
difficult
50%.
because it's not one size fits all.
That is correct.
So they would have to individually know, but know this program is available, and this program is called Extra Help.
Medicare prescription drugs, extra help.
So the programs that we are featuring today is for seniors is the Social Security programs that are available for them, and that actually SSI, if you are in a low income and you qualify, it all depends on the qualification. It's on an individual basis.
That is correct.
And it depends on your check, your Social Security amount of that, and your resources.
Your bank account, your stocks and bonds, if you have anything like that.
How about if you have an automobile?
Your automobile should be fine, but if you have two,
If you have two automobiles.
yeah, we will probably ask you what's the value of your second vehicle. Your first vehicle, they won't count against you.
All right, so now we have gone through the basic Social Security. We've gone through the extra help. Are we leaving out any programs? Let's see.
Well, survivor benefits.
Oh, the survivor benefits. Yeah, we should talk
qualified,
about that.
yes.
Because this was something I was unaware of. You were saying that in survivor benefits, like if a lot of women are left out because they're divorced and they don't realize they could get survival benefits from an ex-spouse, right?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about survivor benefits.
Survivor benefits starts at the age of 60.
Okay.
Let's say, a person was married to an individual for more than 10 years, and he passed away, and she's 60 or 62, and haven't filed for her retirement benefits, or he have not filed for his retirement benefits. They can give us a call, and just to see how much they could be eligible for off that person's record. As long as you have a 10-year marriage, or let's say you didn't have a 10-year marriage. Let's say you had an 8-year marriage and that your husband or your wife passed away, and you're at age 60, you can qualify for survivor benefits off his record.
Oh.
Anybody younger than that, let's say if that situation would have happened to me now, something happened to my husband, I could file for survivor benefits for my children. And for myself. We still will look at your working earnings if you're working, but if you have young children under the age of 18 or 19 in 2 months, that family could apply for survivor benefits as well.
Well, let me ask you, Victoria, what do you like most about being a Social Security expert?
I like being informative, giving everyone what they need to have, what they need to know. I like to stress that everyone should go on my Social Security, www.socialsecurity.gov, to create an account, to be aware of what they'll be eligible for, and plan for their financial future.
Oh, that's good. We're going to have you back periodically because there's so much, then changes occur, so we want to stay up to date. Now, you know what time it is, you out there, you sitting on the couch, come on, get up. When you come to the end of your rope, you tie a knot and you hang on to it real tight. And what we want you all to do this week is to catch the spirit, because the best is yet to come. God bless you. We love you.